Hello and welcome to this week's Gaming Face Punch Gaming Roundup with me, your beautiful host Gareth, and Nige. How we doing, Nige?
All good.
You know what question I'm going to ask? You know what question I'm going to ask you next, don't you? What have you been playing?
I've actually been playing, and you'll hate this, Gareth. Dark Age of Calamot. Free shard. I don't have to pay.
Oh,
So it's
no.
free, and that makes it better.
Does it now? Okay. You know how we feel about Dark Ages of Camelot on the podcast, mate.
I know. I've got to not talk about it.
All right. I have been playing. What have I been playing? I've been playing Flight Simulator on my S series. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous game. It's really good looking.
Thought that you could play that game on a console.
It's good, yeah. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Yeah. It does. It looks good. I sent a video to my father who hasn't watched it on WhatsApp, but hey, can't get everything that you want. So anyway, with that brief intro, I think it's time we got on with the news. Right. This is a weird one. I've heard this described in many different ways. Dell is cancelling Alienware gaming PC shipments to several US states. Orders placed in California, Hawaii, and 4 other states will not be honored because of power consumption regulations. So, knowing they say gaming's under attack, gaming looks like it's actually genuinely under attack. This is, I've had lots of people bitch and moan about this one, and it's quite rightly so that they're doing it. For the time, Dell is no longer shipping certain Alienware Aurora R12s and R10 gaming PC configurations to half a dozen US states because those product lines potentially fall out of the bounds of the newly adopted energy efficient requirements. Now, if I understand the legislation doesn't come into effect until the November-December end of the year. Gaming PCs are how can I put it politely, are very power hungry. Yep, there's a lot of power getting that processing out of there, and it's one of those things where it's not great. There was a
I was just thinking about that because yes, older PCs with the PSU that you had to have, you have a certain rating because the graphics card and the memory, all that sort of stuff like adds up. And there was the older cards used to be the full power all the time, like drawing all that power.
Yeah.
Nowadays, no, it doesn't do that. It just draws what it needs rather than power. You know,
when you buy a 500 watt gaming PC, it's not constantly running at 500 watts. It's using 500 watts when it needs 500 watts, but it has the ability to use that 500 watts. I know it is mad. Just to carry on a bit with this article, yes, this was driven by the California Energy Commission (CEC) Tier 2 implementation. Sorry, that sounds so exciting. That defined mandatory energy efficiency for PCs, including desktops, AIOs, and mobile gaming systems. I don't know what AIO is. I'm old. This was put into effect on July 1st, 2021. Select configurations of Alienware Aurora R10s, R12s were impacted across Dell and impact systems across Dell and Alienware, Dell said. It's funny because of all the things being sold in the black market, gaming PCs wouldn't be my first thing on the list. It's a little mad.
Yeah, it comes from this. It's probably the same group of people who sitting there saying video games make people violent. So
it might be. Hello, Bilfer, and yes, it is California again. In 2016, California became the first US state to approve energy efficient standards for PC monitors At the time, it was anticipated that new standards would save 2.3 billion kilowatt hours of electricity a year, significantly reducing the carbon pollution arising from fossil-fueled power plants. Now, I don't want to sound silly or anything. I know that California and I think New York have energy problems. And part of the energy problems are they want to embrace nuclear. It's probably the first one. And then the second one is they don't seem to manage this thing well. They're increasing, but well, actually, California's population is decreasing at the moment for the first time in like 100 something years. But it's part of them not doing it right. So I imagine that in California they'll start banning air conditioning and stuff like that further on down the line, especially during the summer months when it's hot and air conditioning can actually save your life. It's annoying as hell when it comes to these things.
Yeah, I find this a bit strange because there are surely bigger items, electrical items that draw a lot more power than a PC.
Maybe charging an electric car.
Like an electric car, I was thinking. Or maybe a fridge.
Fast charge, sorry.
That needs to
fast
be on.
charging. The fridge freezers don't use that much. If you've got it full, it uses less energy than if it's empty. Which is weird. It's because it's because you keep it cool, and then the stuff in there remains cool and helps everything else stay cool. Yeah.
Surely there were bigger items that use more electrics than a PC. So strange.
Filth has brought up a very good point here because there are tons of server farms in California. They're all over the world. They're not just California, but California definitely has a ton of server farms because of Silicon Valley. And those things must eat power like there's no tomorrow. That makes me upset. I'm going to leave that one alone, all right? There's ESGs, Bilfer. Look up ESGs if you want to get upset. There's a channel called Unsafe Space, and look up ESGs on that. Great reset stuff. That'll upset you. Anyway, I wanted this podcast to be a more kind of happier podcast, so I've left the miserable shit for the beginning and the end because I'm wise like that, apparently. Righty dokie, matey blokey. Expansions. I put Flight Simulator on my Xbox, and I'm like, I'm gonna need an expansion sooner or later. I wish the expansion was cheaper. And then I heard some good news, and the good news didn't come from Xbox saying the expansion would be cheaper. The good news came from Sony saying, you know what? We are going to unlock the expansion slot in the PS5 in the beta release and then release it to everyone else when it's gone through that. And then Seagate went, oh, look at me. I've got a SSD ready to go for when that expansion slot opens up. So they've got this FireCuda 330 series PCI Gen 4 SSD. Mm-hmm. So we've got the beta and that's being released. This is the reason I say about this, because if they release it and it's cheaper than the expansion is for the Xbox, the price of the Xbox One should drop. I want them to do this because I want a cheaper expansion slot for my console, which is not that one, because the S, as I said, is a lovely box, but the storage in it is cack. The storage in the PS5 is adequate, but the S series is cack, and it's great that this is happening, and this will hopefully light a fire under Microsoft's arse so we can get cheaper expansion slots. Because I imagine you'll probably want an expansion slot on yours at one point, and that Sony will get it to the state that they can have anyone who meets a certain standard can produce SSE.mvme, whatever it is, which I can never say correctly, .m2. Because when it was funny because you didn't watch the nerdy tech breakdown of the PS5, which everyone was pissed at because they were expensive games and stuff. But the guy said clearly, he goes, we got the fastest storage we could get at this point in time. And I know that within 9 months, they'll produce faster storage. So we've got a slot for that for when that comes up. So this is the minimum amount of storage in. You can then put a big old chunky, thing in there. We will certify them, make sure they're all right. It looks like Seagate's jumped in there and gone, pick me. I think Seagate do the storage for the bloody Xbox too. I'm sure they did the storage for the Xbox now. I'm thinking about it.
I think you're right.
It'd be funny if it won't be funny, yeah, is if it's using the same tech, but because it doesn't have to put it in the box or use any proprietary Xbox stuff or formatting or something, because it's just a regular hard drive, that is slightly cheaper.
It is Seagate.
It is Seagate. Oh, there you go.
Seagate make it.
Yes. Sorry. I'm just good. I think it's good news. I say that's good news because, as I said, that'll help bring down the expansion slot for us. I don't know why they don't do a 512 expansion slot for £100. But a terabyte's nice. You could do 512, maybe, for someone who doesn't need all that space, but would like some more. Because he likes blistering fast. He likes his performance. His stop starts. He loves all. I love all that stuff. But I do want to be able to install some more games on it because I do have to rotate him in and out. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking. Usually the larger drives tend to be a bit quicker than the slightly smaller drives.
I don't know. I can't remember. The newer. I always thought the newer drives were faster than the
the newer drives are faster than older drives, and I'm sticking to that.
Okay. All right. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. So, oh crikey, that's not a very good bit of footage yet. Right, so look at that. It's quick fit. I don't need quick fit. Halo Infinite technical preview live streams shows Xbox One's first footage for the first time. I watched some of this. It's rather long and boring. But the long shot is I showed off the game. It looks like it's in a playable state. I'm just going to hit play there, but I'll need to kill the volume there, and we'll pop that out like that. Sorry, nerds talking nerd shit. But they got to show off the game. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't like Halo multiplayer. Yeah, I always thought Halo multiplayer was, if you've got a gun that doesn't kill people in a few bullets, then you're using the wrong gun. Yeah, you need to find a bigger gun with better ammo. But the thing is, I did like the Unreal Tournament one, and they kind of did base it off that. But this looks cool. So if you're into it and you do like Halo, yeah, this is going to be your thing. I think the beta is open to a few people now as we're talking. It's one of these things I haven't kept an eye on. I was going through the new stuff, and I was like, I want to find something that gets people happy, something that makes gets people light for that. It's going to be free to play, which I think is fantastic. I think that PlayStation should have done that with the Killzone multiplayer, because the Killzone multiplayer for Killzone Shadowfall was really good. It was a really good multiplayer, and it's a shame that not many people got to play it, and then it kind of just died a death. But they could have just put it into the background. So I'm thinking this is live now. I should have done more research, but as I said, I was just excited to see that. Looks like it's ready to rock and roll. It looks like it's going to get out. It looks like people go, I will play it. I won't enjoy it because it's not my bag, but I'm going to give it a go because, hey, it looks cool. It looks good. It looks honest. Yeah. I think is the best way of describing it, because the graphics aren't perfect or whatever, but it does look. It looks very Insomniac, Resistance Fall of Man ish. It's a weird way of describing, because they have like a style, so it looks slightly stylized now. I think it's probably the best way to describe these new Halo graphics. Not a bad thing. But I think it's like it's a clever way of getting around graphic limitations.
I do like right. For me, I'm not a big Halo player because I never had an Xbox before I got my X. But because there's a new Halo, and it's most likely going to come out on Game Pass, I will download it and I will play it, and I'll go through the campaign, I think. I might give the multiplayer a little go, but I'm not hanging my hat on that. I like the campaigns of games at the moment. So
co-op campaign, I played it with Mike Carl. Great fun. Co-op improves the game dramatically because I played. The only one I enjoyed playing when I was Halo 4, and I'm a weirdo because I like Halo 4.
And nobody else does.
Yeah, Guardians was shit. Guardians was terrible. Guardians was like, they didn't Last Jedi. I don't think they Last Jedi. They tried swapping it out because they wanted to put a new character in and focus on the new character, which was their creation, and not Master Chief. The problem is that Halo's Master Chief, like Mario, is for Mario Brothers. Hence the name. That was a stupid example, Gareth. Why did you say that one? But it's good. Hopefully, we'll get the full campaign and everything when it comes out. And it's nice. Something good. Something to look forward to. Okay, let's move on to our next story. All right. Okay. There's rumors that Sony is doing something with something from Konami. Okay. Now everyone thinks that they are trying to revive Silent Hills, and they're trying to tempt Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro onto it.
Right.
And it's because Sony's got a bit of advantage over Microsoft when it comes to this, is because they do films. So there's that aspect for it. So that Mr. Del Toro might want to keep them happy, but there's a company here called Abandoned, and this is the one that they don't know if they're doing Silent Hill for. But if you look at this image here, we don't know if they're trolling people or not. And it looks like it's supposed to be Big Boss, who's the last main character in the Phantom Pain. Well, it's Phantom.
Okay.
But you got the eye patch there, and you got like kind of pink face, and there's something's happening here, and we don't quite know. So Blue Box Game Studios are at it again with their Twitter cheese. It seems to be using original artwork from Metal Gear Solid 2. I like Metal Gear Solid 2. Phantom Pain's better game wise, but it was a good game. I don't know what's going on. Now, there's rumors that Sony have bought the rights to Metal Gear and Silent Hill, and they're going to start off with the remakes of Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear 3, and the Guns of the Patriots. So they're going to do the whole saga with David Hayter doing the voice for Solid Snake. That's the rumor. The problem is it's rumor. Yep. So there's not much that we can talk about in regards to that. So it's frustrating as hell when it comes to this. They've got something. There's something going on there. It says the image is Solid Snake. Solid Snake's a bloody clone of Big Boss.
Okay.
So there's that, because he's a clone of he's a perfect clone of Big Boss, unlike Liquid and Solid, who are they kind of stretched out bits of Big Boss, is like kind of soldier aspects. I think they described it. I'd like to know what they're doing. I'm hoping it's a Metal Gear game. I'm hoping what I would like the very first Metal Gear game that was on the MSX to be remade with a Phantom Pain engine, and you can play it like Phantom Pain. That's what I'd want, but I don't think I'll ever get that. But I can dream. A boy can dream.
A man can dream.
I was being all right, then a man can dream. A man's got to be realistic. He's got a mortgage to pay and electricity to sort out. But it's interesting. And again, hope things nice. As I'm going to spoil this towards the end to put a sour note on things. I'm going to actually push this one right to the end here. So we've got one more nice story before we get onto our main horrible, nasty story, which I'll leave for the end. So, I'll have that one. Right. we talked about the Halo beta, and now we've got the Back for Blood open beta. And Nigel, we need to get on this when we get a chance. All right, so just have a weekend stream. I'll stream YouTube. You stream Twitch. So we got the Back for.
What are you doing Saturday?
Saturday? Oh, sorry, mate. I've got going out Saturday.
Should we tell people to sort of like leave us alone and we'll just do this? I'll bring my controller over.
It's unfortunately it's the 12th and 16th of August.
Why haven't they scheduled this round our gathering?
I don't know why they haven't scheduled our first.
That's so inconsiderate of them.
First big COVID gathering where it's adults only, so we can do it. Yeah.
Letting the kids fend for themselves. No. We
now
babysit.
The open betas for the. Yeah, come.
Sorry, that what I was seeing there looks just like Left 4 Dead.
Yes,
with the little spitter things and playing as a fort. It's Left 4 Dead. It's the next Left 4 Dead.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But this is the great thing. It's on Games Pass. So when it properly comes out, got some gaming to do there.
And do you know what? I very recently deleted, only a few days ago, Warzone, which is obviously freed up a ton of space, and I could probably fit at least another 5 games on.
I don't get how Apex Legends can have 3 maps and be the size that it is, and Warzone be so fucking huge and look like shit. Warzone looks crap. I played Black Ops 4. I downloaded Black Ops 4. I played it. I looked at it and went, "What the fuck is this shit?" I went on the right. That's not the multiplayer. The multiplayer looked fantastic, and I think that's what didn't help me, because as soon as I got into the battle royale part of it, I looked at it and was like, "This is crap. Why does it look this crap? How can it look this crap? You've got this beautiful bit over here where I was fighting Nuketown, because everyone loves Nuketown, yeah? Fighting Nuketown, yeah? And I'm literally just popping my head around the corner and getting it blown off. It was annoying because I think I had a KD ratio on the first game of 4. So I was like doing fantastic. And I should have cancelled it then, because the next game got wiped out and it went to 1.98. I should have left it there and said I've got KD ratio of 4. And I go, it's amazing. How many matches you played? Just the one.
One. That was it. I was out. I was on cloud 9.
I'll never top that. So I left.
Quit while you were ahead.
Yeah.
That reminds me of something. When I was, I used to go, poor kids, you won't remember LAN arenas, but they were a thing when PCs weren't too commonplace in everyone's homes, and also the internet was shite. Yeah. You will not, well, some of you might remember, but there was a LAN arena, and we used to go to my local one, and we used to play Counter-Strike 1.6. It was back then, when you could bunny hop.
Source, mate. Source all the way. And forget CSGO, source all the way.
Yeah, forget CSGO, rubbish. And there was a guy who was actually quite good. He was in a clan and all that stuff. And we were playing together. And he had a 20-0 kill-death ratio. He hadn't been killed yet. He took 1 death and he went, "Well, I'm quitting." I went, "You're still 20-1. That's still like 20-1. 20-0 is same as 20." And he quit the game. He quit the game and reloaded. Says, "I'm going to start again." And he did crap.
Oh dear.
I was like, "Why? You were doing fine. You quit and come back, and now look at you. You're in deficit."
It's one of those things. I remember when I was playing Counter-Strike Source, and we had a cheater called Zool. Because the way it's set up, you had team kills on, yeah. So the first action of the match was to blow his brains out, and everyone was like, kind of, keep this guy on the server, keep this guy on the server. The other guy can fuck off. Fabulous.
Zool is actually a game for the Amiga.
Yes, it was the old Ninja in Sweetie Land, sponsored by Chupa Chups.
Chupa Chups. It was such a good game. I loved that. It's just a platformer. That's all it was.
Yeah. Right. The next one's not a nice one. So let's go on to our next story. Right. Activision, Blizzard developers, Cosby Suit, makers of Call of Duty, Candy Crush, accused of sexism and frat boy culture, where a female worker of staff was by co-workers and joked about by other co-workers. Right. Yeah, I know things look. I know that it transcribes everything and looks for certain things. Right. Well, it goes like this. Activision seemed like a scammy company, full stop. Activision Blizzard seemed like a scammy company, full stop. Who remembers? You've all got phones, haven't you? For when people thought they were getting Diablo 3 and nothing happened. Do you remember that? It's a while back.
Oh yeah, it's a while back. Instead, they announced a mobile game instead.
Yep, the most mobile game. No one's.
Which I don't think is even available yet, and they announced that ages ago.
Yeah. I don't know. It might be. It may have only been released in China, for all we know.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, it was. It's terrible affair, and apparently they're getting accused of sexism. Right. I just like to point something out. Yeah. All right. So this says Cosby Suit. Now you don't want
Sweet.
the
Cosby Suite.
Suite. The Cosby Suite. Okay. All right. I thought it was suit.
It was an area in the office.
Oh God, yes, I remember. Yeah, I remember now. But you don't want to be, the long and short of it is when you have these allegations and stuff, you don't want to be compared to Cosby because Cosby got off because there was such piss poor evidence on it, and it was pushed through for political expediency rather than the law. And then when it was revisited, when there was no need for political expediency, it was overturned and he walked free. So you don't want to be associated with Cosby when it comes to these things, right? So there's right certain things I agree with that you should be able to go to work, should be free from bullying, but you must understand that you'll have conflict and you will have criticism. Yep. So free from bullying, but understand that you get conflict and criticism. It's normal. If you feel passionate about what you do and the other person feels passionate about what you do, and you have two diametric things, it's going to be like that. Women aren't there for your gratification sort of thing, and men aren't there for your gratification either. So it goes both ways in that. Yeah. You should behave in a professional manner, and I believe that's a key thing that people should behave in a professional manner, especially when you're making fucking millions and it seems unearned. You could at least have the air of professionality about you when you come to these things. So they had the Cosby Suite, the room eligible to the Cosby Suite. One image shows a group of male developers gaming, reclining on a bed, posing in a frame photo of the disgraced comedian. Nothing wrong with that, just it's shit taste. Poor taste, not really thought through. It was reported, it was reportedly taken inside, I have no idea how to say this, guys, Avra Asia B, the Azure B Suite in 2013 BlizzCon event.
Afra
We'll say Avra. Just make it even. Avra. It was taken in the BlizzCon suite in 2013. That's not a problem. Yeah, not a problem whatsoever. Activision is being sued by the California Department for Fair Employment, Housing, for sexism, discrimination, and harassment. Now, sexism is a bit of a difficult one to do, but harassment's a lot easier and a lot more to the ball. Now, this is the bit that kind of pissed me off a little, because if you've been sexually harassed at work, you've two ways of doing it. There's the people who are properly resilient, who just turn around to those people and say no, and then it never happens again. You don't even need to talk to HR because you put your foot down and told them to do one, and then hopefully they stop and they get the idea. I'll be honest with you. I've had something like that happen to me at work, and it was like, no, sorry. And you feel really awkward and you feel a bit shitty, but it's like kind of no, these things can't happen. I've had it at my current job, and I've had it at Woolworths too. I'll tell you about it after, Nige, and you'll go, "Oh, really?
Such a stud."
No, it's not because I was such a stud. It was not because I was such a stud. It's because they were drunk.
Oh.
And my room was the only one that they knew. So we'll come back around to that. We'll come back around to that in a while. So then they kind of they've had a walkout. Now it's weird because the cultist of inclusivity, diversity, and all that shit have fucking jumped on board with this, and it kind of pisses me off because I've read other articles where these people have how can I put it? They've hijacked it to the point that things don't make any sense. So they're sitting there. It's like kind of, we need to make sure trans employees are looked after. How many trans employees you got working at Activision? Isn't it more important that these people who have had something done get their day in court, get their fair hearing, and get their fair judgment? So instead of saying, hey, why don't we put a pool of cash together to make sure that they can afford expensive lawyers? Yeah,
legal representation.
That legal representation, because Activision they are not gonna cut the corners on this when it comes to cost. Because it's their group. So that, but no, they want money going towards what do you call it? They want money going towards black girls coding. No, it should be going towards these people. It should be making sure that they've got a wage, because they're probably not employed. So they probably need a wage to pay the bloody bills. That would make more sense. But no, they've jumped on the bandwagon and have kind of destroyed it, which really fucks me off. Because if it has happened, and I'm taking the innocent before guilty. If it has happened, then you take it to court, you follow due process, and hopefully you get a decent judgment from it. That's what you want. You want it to be nice and fair. And then if they have done something wrong, there you go. You've done something wrong. You get awarded your damages. Really annoying. The other thing too is a Californian court, and California courts are notorious for backing up big business. That person's going to lose. I put money on it. If it was a New York court, maybe they might win. A bigger chance of them winning, but California courts always back up big business. I have not heard anything good to come out of California court ever. See the energy policy, for example. So we'll go here. Bilford's just put in normal daily human activities can be twisted to harassment. Everybody is too scared to fight back. It's easier to sell. Depends. It's one of those things where if it has happened, then we follow due process, and then hopefully something happens. If it hasn't happened and you still follow due process says no. That's the great thing about it. As long as it's followed properly. Just worried that it might not be followed properly. It's that there were back in 2010, 2012, between 2010 and 2012, you had loads of these claims all over the place. And I think it's a case of sometimes harassment and bullying is not the same as conflict and criticism, if that makes any sense. But if someone's being groped or had someone knock on their door in the middle of the night when you're staying away, that's something different there. Anyway,
I think if it's you do get a bit of harassment, like they're constantly coming over to.
I would say you've bloody witnessed it firsthand. I know you have, because we've had stories about certain employees who were drunk at 2 a.m. who had been dragged back to their room.
I did the dragging.
Yes, with another guy who still works with me. But I put a dampener or anything. I knew this would kill the conversation. But let's just look at the positive things. Yeah, we're getting a beta for what do you call it, for Back 4 Blood. Looks like what do you call it, Left 4 Dead. It's gonna be great.
No bad thing.
That's a good thing. You've got Halo Infinite with their multiplayer, and that looks like it's working, and it looks like it's fine, and it probably just needs a bit of tinkering and some adjustments, and that's going to be all good. You've got PlayStation are going to unleash the power of extended storage, which hopefully will bring down the price of Microsoft storage, or maybe we get a 512 and it only costs 80 quid, something along those lines. Force them to make a move in that, which is a good thing. We might be getting a remake of Metal Gear Solid. We might be getting the Silent Hills game that we were hoping to get. We don't know. But don't let the Activision thing go. I'll keep an eye on the Activision thing because it's I don't know where it's going. I'm not too sure. But as I said, if due process is followed and it's followed to the letter, then the wrong parties will be sorted. So yes, hang on a second. All right. So, hello, Alessandro. Guys, to add to the last conversation, those allegations, we need more context. AI have Lord. Okay. Yeah. I get that. I understand it. There's a lot of hearsay, a lot of emotions, a lot of stuff going on. It's just shitty. I think it's the best way of describing it. Doesn't matter if it's someone trying to take the piss out of Activision. I don't like Activision, but they don't deserve it. Still shitty. If something's happened to them, needs to be dealt with. Still shitty. But it's one of the things we've got to wait for. It's annoying because the truth will out long after this story's dropped. Then it's one of these things that I find really frustrating when you get like a story and everyone's talking about it months later. You'll actually get the truth. But yeah, but think of the good things. We've got lovely things. We've got Halo and not Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood. It's going to be good. We've got good stuff to look forward to. And if anyone likes Flight Simulator, you can play it on your Xbox and XS series. And it's gorgeous. It actually is the longest loading game I've got, though. It takes the longest time to load. I've got a lot of games on there. They load really quickly, but that one takes the longest. I've flown around the pyramids. I've crashed into the to the Jesus in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro. Yeah. I've called it the Target rather than its proper name. I've flown over Bora Bora. This is great. It's lovely. So I don't want to put down on things. I've been trying to keep things upbeat for the last couple of weeks, and I would like to keep things on the up. So, Nige, anything you want to say?
No, not really. I'm not. Flight Sim's not really my thing. But
Nige, do me a favor.
You can show me on Saturday.
Yeah, I can show you on Saturday. You need to give it a go. Seriously, just do a couple of the. They've got some fixed ones. Even if you just play, I think an hour. It's worth an hour of your playtime. But as I said, you can come around and have a go on the Saturday. We're going to be hungover for Sunday.
It might be a Sunday morning thing.
No, I'm talking about when we have to do the game, the Monkey Nut Punch one. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you've been watching all this long, can I ask you a favor? Could you give us a thumbs up or a like or whatever it is on whatever platform you're watching on? We will be back next week. Thank you very much. We will keep an eye on the Activision story. It's shitty. It's not good. But we don't know which way it's not good or which way it's shitty or what's going on. So, all I can tell you is one thing, is Bobby Kotick gets paid too much bloody money. And on that note, it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
And we'll catch you in the next podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.